So here, so one end, we'll just push it in like this. We'll just make it straight like this. And then we'll sew it down, we'll pin it. So you're just going about 1/2 inch, right? So if you're not sure how deep you're going, just about 1/2 inch. Right, and then the other end, make sure this part is facing down. The other end, we could just shove it right here. So back side, front side, it doesn't really matter. Just really, the goal is that you just want to put it in here. All right. So now that I put it in here, I'm just gonna bring the side like this. This is what we're looking at, right? Right here. Make sure it's come 1/2 inch right here. So we'll be sewing it down. 1 inch, of course, down. I'll do the exact same thing on the other side. So this side is done. Just come on this side here. Make sure it's come 1/2 inch right here. So we'll be sewing it down. 1 inch, of course, down. I'll do the exact same thing on the other side. So this side is done. Just come on this side here. Okay, so the other side, you do the exact same thing. So you could just pin it in 1/2 inch. You take this one and you put it here. Make sure this is at the bottom here. Okay, now we're gonna go, I will sew now. So we're just gonna sew up the 1 inch, that's it. So if you're familiar with this now, we're just gonna come here and bring it up here, and I want sewing machine here. All right, so I'll just finish right where I had open earlier. Okay, so that is done inside here, and then I'll do the other side now. let's continue. All right, perfect. So now we'll be dealing with the sleeve now, right? The bottom of the sleeve. So the part that we fold together. All right. So I just have an elastic here. So one thing I want to tell you about the elastic now. You wanna, because that's around where I gonna have my the sleeve gonna end, right? You're gonna end around this way. So just grab my elastic here. So I just want to put the elastic here, and you can leave like some enough, like, you know what I mean? You don't want it tight. That's my goal. You don't want it tight. You want an elastic to have, so you have enough easing. So if you say you get the elastic right around, just make sure you could move, you could flex nice with the elastic, okay? You don't want the elastic to irritate you. And then leave like a couple extra seam allowance, okay? So we are gonna push the elastic through the sleeve now. Again, that's if you're making elastic. Another thing I want to tell you guys again, if you don't want to do the elastic sleeve, you could always leave the sleeve flare. That's another option as well. This is perfect for a flare sleeve as well. Yeah. So we're just gonna push this down. Okay, let me get my act together here. Push this down. Try to push it under the lining part. Yeah, and if you can get a really thin elastic, like this is a quarter finish elastic, it's actually even really helpful. So I'm just gonna push this down. Trying to go under the, I see under, can remember when we sew it, there's some little extra there. Okay. Now there's very, very much different ways to put elastic. This is just one way, right? You could also sew the elastic down and stretch it down as well. But yeah, this is just one way I thought of doing it. So as we go on this course, I'm pretty sure I'll be showing other ways as well. Okay, so you're just gonna level it down here, all right? And this part, of course, is stable with the pin here. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna put this like this, because this elastic actually really, really stretch. So I'll take this off here. So when you take the pin, make sure you don't lose your elastic. That's pretty much it. Okay, so some of my elastic gonna show. But again, I wanted to make this thing so simple for you as a first project. Yeah, okay. Okay, so now what you will do now, you'll come up like this. So one thing I could advise you to do, like you could put it around your arms here and see if you go half an inch extra, if it's too big or it's too small, right? So I'm okay with that. So now I'm gonna go to my machine and I'm gonna make sure I match this here, right? Match this here. Let's take out the pins here. Now you have to be very careful because you don't want to lose the elastic, right? Okay. And then you'll pin this down. All right, so what you will do, you'll do the exact same thing I show you here. You do it for the other sleeve, okay? So I would only show one sleeve because it's pretty much the same method. Now also be careful that you don't lose the elastic. It is so important, okay? Be very, very careful that you don't lose the elastic. Now, if you lose the elastic, of course, you got to go ahead and do it all over again. So what we're gonna go ahead and do, and you see what I'm talking about? I think I lost the elastic here, but I'm gonna fix the elastic back, and then we're gonna go ahead and sew 1/2 inch down. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn the camera off, I'll fix the elastic, and then I'll come back and we'll be sewing our 1/2 inch down. All right. All right, so now we're gonna take our sleeve here. So this is our armhole here, right? And this is our sleeve we just did. So this is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna take our sleeve, we're gonna measure it seam to seam. Just make sure that the outside seam here match the outside seams here. That's pretty much it. That's seam to seam. Take our pin. Take a proper pin. And you're gonna push it through the seam here. So you can see that seam, that's where the two fabric join here, right? The right side, just really where the pieces of the arm, the sleeve are joined. So you're gonna push it through the seam here, and it comes through here, through the other seams for the garment here. All right. Just want to make sure that it is nice and tailored. Then you will bring it up here. Okay. All right, so okay, so this one is a little bit too down for me. So I line it up here and I push it to the seam, right? Then you come out here, not straight, and that's okay. I get it straight here, perfect. Because of the fabric, there's a lot of thickness in the fabric, so. Okay, there you go. All right, so now that I've done it like this, so this is what I'm gonna go ahead and do. I'm gonna take my hand, put my hand inside the blouse like this, and I'm gonna bring this. But before I bring it now, I just wanna make sure that this is level, because we have the, if it's one piece of fabric, it's different, but we have the lining and we have the fabric, right? So I wanna make sure that everything is lined up here, that when I finish, that one doesn't look high and low, one piece is here, the other piece is yonder. We don't want that. So we kind of want to just kind of level it to make sure that it's all line up. And trust me, if you don't take your time and do that, sometimes you'll be going through a headache. You'll be sewing the sleeve one way, this part is like that way, the other part is like that way. You don't want that. All right, so you just kind of level it up here, right? Hope you see that here. Well, all right, so now that I've leveled it up, I'll hold this and I'm put this on the inside now. So now I'm gonna work with the inside of the sleeve here. All right, so I'm just gonna go level by level because the sleeve is not the best to deal with. If you have lining, so if you have lace, you just wanna take your time, okay, to make sure you match it up really nicely. Okay. every extra pin I have out. So I'll come up as close as to the shoulder part, and then I'm going to just start the other one. All right, then I'll just start the other side. Okay. See, I'm taking my time. I just want to match everything up because the sleeve is so important here. The sleeve is actually very, very important. You could make a lot of mistakes with the sleeve, so. Some crooked pin I have here. Some of them. Also, some people just ask me, oh, do you have to work with pin, this and that? Because to me, I like working with pins. It cannot keep my clothes level. Some people work with clothespin or other things, and that's fine. Yeah, so now that I'm coming here now, I have a little extra here. That's good. I'm just gonna do little pleats. So I'm just gonna come a little pleat in the middle here. All right, just in the middle part of the shoulder. Okay, so I'm just gonna check the back to see if I have any extra pins because I don't want to have any mistake here. Any extra pin on the outside? No. Everything's on the inside. Okay, so I'm gonna bring the camera closer up so you would see how I sew the sleeves because it's so important. All right, so what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna just turn it like this so I can get only this part, right? Okay, and then I want the sleeve itself to be I don't want it to come in my way, so I will start at the bottom here. The bottom here is the bottom of the armpit area, so that's where I will start, and then you have to feel your way through. So I'm going to just do a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, perfect. All right, I'll take out some pins because I have some serious pins here. So I would take my time and walk over. I have a pin here, and before I do my back stitch, I'll walk over, take out the pins to the top. Yeah, perfect. All right, then you take your time. So look at what I'm doing. I'm keep on fixing now. Now I did the first, I'm gonna fix, make sure I get exactly what I need to sew. You always have to be fixing the sleeve as you sew. So I fix, so I'll take out my pins. All right, so then now I stop. I have to fix this side again. So fix this side, make sure I'm not getting the major sleeve in the way. Make sure that all the other extra piece of fabric, extra lining or lace, they're not in the way. I'm fixing and making sure everything is smoothly here. And I take up my pin. Okay, take up my pin. And you're also making sure that everything is lined, because I have trouble if you're using couple, like more than one pieces of fabric together. Yep, just make sure. All right. Okay. Then I'm gonna fix again. I'm gonna move this and fix. The seams on the shoulder, you can let it go one way, that's perfectly fine. Some people open them, but I just let it go one way. If it's a big seam, you could open it. Sometimes I open it, sometimes I just let it go one way. If it's like a 3/8 of an inch seam, you could open up the shoulder seam, right? And if it's just a very tiny, less than half an inch, you could leave it, or you could, yeah. We'll see how it looks anyway. All right. So we're gonna be assessing now to see how it is. Just see if we have any mistakes. I put the seams here on the top one way. Okay, see, it's fine here. Looks actually pretty good. All right, so we take our time. So I just want to show you guys something quickly. So this seam here, I have about a half an inch seam. I just put it one way. That's what the shoulder seams. And then the other sleeve, which I've done this one off camera, I open the seams here. All right, so this is just the shoulder seam itself. I open the seams here, and the other one I just bring it down. So I was just trying to show you, you could always open the seam like this, but if to say by some reason you manage to have it like this, is not a big deal, okay?